What if I told you that the same man who was rejected from KFC failed his college entrance exam twice and was turned down by Harvard 10 times, went on to build a $460 billion empire? Today, I'm going to share Jack Ma's most powerful secret that transformed him from a nobody into one of the world's most influential entrepreneurs. But here's the catch. It all starts with one controversial mindset that 99% of people refuse to accept. If you're ready to discover why thinking about yourself first isn't selfish, but essential, then keep watching. This could be the video that changes everything for you. Welcome back to Meets Wisdom, the channel where we dive deep into the minds of the world's most successful people to extract the golden nuggets of wisdom that can transform your life. I'm your host, and today we're exploring one of Jack Ma's most misunderstood philosophies. If this content adds value to your life, smash that subscribe button and hit the like button right now. It helps us reach more people who need to hear this message. And stick around until the end because I'll share 3 practical steps you can implement today to start thinking like a billionaire. The foundation. Let me ask you something that might make you uncomfortable. When was the last time you put yourself first without feeling guilty about it? Jack Ma once said something that shocked the business world. You should focus on yourself. If you don't take care of yourself first, how can you take care of others? This isn't about being selfish. This is about understanding a fundamental truth that separates winners from losers. You cannot pour from an empty cup. Drop a comment below with the word myself if you've ever felt guilty about prioritizing your own needs and goals. Think about it. Every single day, you're told to think about others first. Your family, your friends, your boss, your colleagues. But here's what Jack Ma discovered that most people never realize. When you constantly put others before yourself, you become weak, resentful, and ultimately useless to everyone around you. Jack Ma's story. Let me paint you a picture of failure. Jack Ma, in 1999. A 35-year-old English teacher earning $12 a month. Rejected everywhere he went. When he applied to be a police officer, they said no. When he applied to work at KFC, they rejected him too. Even Harvard University rejected him 10 times. But here's where Jack Ma's story becomes extraordinary. Instead of wallowing in self-pity or trying to please everyone else, he made a decision that would change his life forever. He decided to think about himself first. Not in a narcissistic way, but strategically. He asked himself 3 critical questions. 1. What do I really want? 2. What am I uniquely capable of? 3. How can I serve the world by becoming the best version of myself? This is where most people get it wrong. They think thinking about yourself means being greedy or uncaring. But Jack Ma understood something profound. The greatest gift you can give to the world is the full expression of your potential. When he started Alibaba in his apartment with $60,000, people called him crazy. His friends and family thought he was being selfish, abandoning his stable teaching job to chase an impossible dream. But Jack Ma knew something they didn't. If he didn't believe in himself first, no one else would. Comment below with "believe" if you've ever had people doubt your dreams. The psychology behind the philosophy. Here's the uncomfortable truth that Jack Ma discovered. Most people are trained from childhood to seek approval from others. We're taught that putting ourselves first is wrong, that we should always consider others before our own needs and ambitions. But this creates a psychological trap. When you constantly seek validation from others, you become dependent on their opinions for your self-worth. You start making decisions based on what others want, not what you want. And slowly, you lose touch with your own dreams, your own voice, your own power. Jack Ma realized that this external validation mindset was the #1 killer of potential. He said, "If you want to be successful, you must first learn to think independently. You must learn to trust your own judgment, even when everyone else thinks you're wrong." Type "independent" in the comments if you're ready to start thinking for yourself, regardless of what others say. But here's the twist. Thinking about yourself first doesn't mean ignoring others. It means taking full responsibility for your own life so that you can contribute more meaningfully to others' lives. Think of it like this. If you're drowning, you can't save anyone else from drowning. But if you learn to swim powerfully, you can save others. Jack Ma understood that by focusing intensely on his own growth, his own vision, his own capabilities, he could eventually create value for millions of people. The 3 pillars of self-focused success. Jack Ma's philosophy of thinking about yourself first is built on 3 fundamental pillars. Pillar 1. Self-awareness over social approval. Jack Ma spent years studying his own strengths and weaknesses instead of trying to impress others. He knew he wasn't the smartest person in the room, wasn't the most technical, wasn't the most charismatic, but he also knew he had something unique: vision and persistence. Write awareness in the comments if you're committed to discovering your unique strengths. Most people waste decades trying to be what others expect them to be. Jack Ma chose to be authentically himself and build upon his natural talents. Pillar 2. Strategic selfishness. This might sound harsh, but Jack Ma practiced what I call strategic selfishness. He was ruthlessly selective about where he spent his time and energy. He said no to opportunities that didn't align with his vision, even when saying yes would have pleased others. When investors wanted him to focus only on the Chinese market, he said no because he had a bigger vision. When the government pressured him to make certain decisions, he stood his ground. This wasn't arrogance, it was strategic thinking about his long-term goals. Pillar 3. Self-investment over self-sacrifice. While others were making sacrifices to please their families or society, Jack Ma was investing in himself. He learned English by talking to tourists. He studied business principles. He traveled to understand global markets. Comment "invest" if you're ready to start investing in yourself, like your future depends on it. Because it does. He understood that the biggest risk wasn't being selfish with his time and resources. The biggest risk was sacrificing his potential for short-term social comfort. The practical application. Now, how do you actually implement this philosophy in your life? Jack Ma's approach can be broken down into 3 daily practices. Practice 1. The daily priority. Check every morning. Ask yourself, what's the one thing I can do today that will move me closer to my biggest goal? Do that thing first, before you do anything for anyone else. Practice 2. The boundary setting. Learn to say no without explanation. Jack Ma said, "If you don't set boundaries, people will set them for you, and they'll always favor their interests over yours." Practice 3. The growth investment. Spend at least 1 hour every day investing in yourself. Learning a new skill, building your network, or working on your passion project. Drop commitment in the comments if you're going to implement these 3 practices starting tomorrow. The transformation. Here's what happened when Jack Ma fully embraced thinking about himself first. He stopped seeking permission from others to pursue his dreams. He stopped apologizing for his ambitions. He stopped dimming his light to make others comfortable. And the result? Alibaba became one of the world's largest e-commerce platforms, employing over 250,000 people and creating opportunities for millions of small businesses worldwide. The man who was once rejected everywhere became someone who could create opportunities for others on a massive scale. But it all started with that controversial decision to think about himself first. If this perspective is shifting your mindset, hit that like button and let me know in the comments. Here's your challenge. For the next 30 days, I want you to practice Jack Ma's philosophy. Every single day, ask yourself, what's best for my long-term growth and success? Then do that thing, regardless of what others might think. This isn't about becoming selfish or uncaring. This is about becoming so strong, so capable, so successful that you can lift others up with you. Comment below with 3 words that describe the person you want to become when you start thinking about yourself first. Remember what Jack Ma said. If you want to be successful, you have to learn to think about yourself. Not because you don't care about others, but because you care so much that you want to become someone who can actually make a difference. If this video opened your eyes to a new way of thinking, make sure you subscribe to Meets Wisdom and hit that notification bell so you never miss content that could change your life. We're building a community of people who refuse to settle for mediocrity, who understand that thinking about yourself first isn't selfish, it's strategic. Drop a comment below with the word transformation if you're ready to start this journey. Your future self is counting on the decisions you make today. Make them count. I'll see you in the next video, where we'll dive even deeper into the mindsets that separate the successful from the struggling. Until then, remember, think about yourself always. Not because you're selfish, but because the world needs the best version of you.